Hi, I hope everyone is having a good day. My name is Linda Schellenberg. I work at the Center for Family Support and our self-direction subsidiary, CFS Self-Directed Supports. And this session is for new brokers so that we can meet and greet with you, sort of virtually. You're meeting and greeting with me. Um, and learn a little bit about our organization, how we structure our self-direction team, how we manage communication and support brokers and all of these good things. Um, So again, my name is Linda Schellenberg. I'm the Director of Community Services here. We have a wonderful team here at CFS, which includes Jennifer Solis, who is our Director of Self-Direction. We have as I mentioned to you, our parent organization is the Center for Family Support. And several years back, we formed a separate nonprofit entity called CFS Self-Directed Supports, which solely provides self-directed services as a fiscal intermediary. The Center for Family Support does provide back office support to CFS Self-Directed Support. So there is a relationship between the two organizations. And our mission at CFS Self-Directed Supports, again, is to support individuals utilize and their families who are utilizing self-direction. And we also hope in the future to look at new models and ways to provide sustainability as natural supports start to age. So we are also looking to expand our mission to include that in the future. The structure of our FI team, the way we structure it here at CFS is, as I mentioned, we have Jennifer, who is our program director, and she oversees a team of FI program managers. Some agencies call them coordinators, but here we call them FI program managers. Each program manager sort of has oversight of individuals who are on a broker caseload. So we try to do the caseloads by broker. And we find that that's been working successfully because the broker will establish a relationship with the FI program manager. They will be able to work together to learn each other's the different ways that each other operates so that we can best support them instead of having brokers have different FI managers and having to shift individuals around. We really try to put the focus on the broker. Okay, we also have additional support staff. We have onboarding specialists that will help the employees with the clearance process. We have a program assistant whose main role is to support the self-hired staff if they need to do manual entries, if they forgot to clock in or out, if they need to be reminded to enter services. So she really helps support the self-hired staff with regards to the eVero mobile app. We have a QA specialist, and then most of the other support staff, including our payroll and HR team and finance team, are under Center for Family Support. Okay, so as I mentioned in the structure, we really try to put the focus, and the way we've set up the model is that the FI program manager works with a team of brokers. And so the communication, we try to include the broker in all things related to the individual as much as possible. We try to refer back the individual and family to the broker as they might, as the technical expert, if they have questions related to the budget. Of course, the FI managers are fully part of the team, and we would never not communicate directly with the individual or family. But we want to try to make sure that that relationship between the broker and the individual is a strong one. Okay, we use a variety of ways to communicate and to support the program. We have broker meetings. It's usually about once a quarter. It tends to piggyback off of the OPWDD trainings. So we might do a more deeper dive, or we might focus on our own internal practices here. We have individual and family meetings once a month, and we provide a variety of different educational topics to help support the individuals and families. And of course, brokers are more than welcome to participate. Then we record all of these sessions, and we have developed a video library. It's a document that has all the links to each one of the sessions that we've held. So we find that that's helpful. We do a monthly newsletter that we share as well with individuals, families, and brokers. So any recent happenings, any changes in the state level, resources that are shared with us, we'll include in there. If we had a recent individual family meeting, we'll put the handouts and the link to the recording for that one. We've shared stories, success stories to highlight. We've shared vendors who would like to be highlighted. So we try to have that newsletter, just provide good information across a variety of different areas. And we have this year started to share a simplified newsletter of staff who are available to work that are already cleared with us. We don't have that many staff. It's a handful every time we share that newsletter. But it is something for you to know if you are working on let's say a staff is not working out with a family or a family is relocating, you can certainly have them share with us their resume and availability, and we can share that with others. Okay. As an agency, we use eVero for most things. 90% of what we do for self-direction is in the eVero system. We fully implemented all of the modules in eVero. So brokers, eVero, if you're not familiar with eVero, they have a suite of trainings specifically designed for brokers to go over with you how to use the eVero system. Once we give you access to eVero, you'll have access to the eVero trainings, and we would highly recommend that you review those sessions so that that you can be up to speed on how to do things in the portal. And the FI manager can also work with you on that. We do have one of our video recordings is about for brokers on how to use the eVero, because you will be using that to enter your broker invoices. We fully use it for budgets. We expect the brokers use the portal to do budgets in and then export from there to ensure accuracy. There are occasions where the family has designated a broker to enter invoices for goods and services. So if that's the case, you'd be given special portal access to be able to do that. And we could provide training to you as well. So we have all of that training available, as well as eVero. And eVero has excellent customers support. So if you run into any technical issues that we cannot assist you with, we'll oftentimes open a ticket with them to help address those issues. Okay. The budget submission process. So we do have a document that we will share with you that is updated, as changes are made on the DDRO level or on the Albany level. With each region, we are currently supporting all the boroughs in New York City as well as Long Island. And some regions have different requests for us to submit budgets than others. So we've put that into a document. We will share that with you. And we do expect that brokers submit budgets with all the different documents all in one. So we do not want you to be submitting a budget template in one email and a staff CMBA document in another email. We'd rather you do a complete submission in one email so we can review everything in one place and then forward it on to OPWDD for review and approval. As far as number 8 goes, broker expectations. So, as you could probably sense, we really feel very strongly that the broker is the key to success in self-direction. So having a good technical expert, having a broker who maintains trainings and up to date with their trainings and takes the time to get to know the individual, the family, to be responsive with communicating. If the broker is really on the ball, this will be a good match because we really expect the brokers to not just do this sort of on the side, but to be involved and available to the individuals and families as their first point of contact and their technical expert. We do expect brokers to complete justification forms. So we have our website, which is www.cfsny.org. We have SDS services page, and on there we use Adobe Sign to electronically capture justification for all of the different goods and services. I mean, not all of them, most of them. For example, we don't need a justification form for utility bill or a phone bill. That's self-explanatory. But if it's a community class, we put together these forms with our advisory committee. We've captured all of the required elements for each category. There might be a few additional questions that for compliance purpose that we have added, but the forms are pretty self-explanatory. When you go onto the website, you'll be able to complete them electronically in Adobe Sign. It's a template. And as you're answering the questions, if you're not able to successfully answer the question, we probably would want you to stop and reconsider if that class meets the guidance. Okay, and then we do expect that the, flyers and things or permits for camps, for example, need to be attached. We do also expect that brokers are involved in the employee clearance process. So when a potential new hire has been selected by the individual and the family, there is a form that we have, again, on our website. It's called Employee Clearance, that you're able to indicate the new hire's name and basic demographic information, how to contact them, their email, phone number, et cetera. And then based on what's in the budget, the approved budget or the budget that's pending approval, how many hours per week, what the rate of pay is, what the fringe amount is. We do have 4 different fringes, which might be different than maybe other FIs that you've worked with. This was a request made by our founding families that we do, that families really wanted to be able to only have the cost associated with the fringe expense for however many hours their staff work. So we have a full-time fringe for employees that have medical benefits. We have a full-time fringe for employees that have declined medical benefits. And then we have a part-time, which is between 20 and 30 hours, 20 and 29 hours rather, because there's a pension contribution that employees are eligible for. And then we have part-time fringe that is for under 20 hours, where they only get a little bit of paid time off. So we do expect that the budgets have the correct fringe. Again, that is on our website. There is a document that shows, I think it's called FI Flyer and Fringe, that will show you the percentage amounts, the most current percentage amounts. We also want you to make sure that the employee is not being forced to not take the medical. They have we have a responsibility to offer medical, so we cannot turn them away. If they want to have the medical, we have to include that fringe. So that's why we have the brokers involved in that employee clearance process, so that we make sure that you have tied in everything requested in the budget. And also we want you to be finding out if this potential new hire is a relative. What we found over time is, relatives can be an excellent addition to the team. However, there's some inherent conflicts of interest there. And we just want to make sure that you have a team meeting to discuss how to mitigate those potential conflicts of interest before they happen. There is a recorded session that we would encourage families and staff who are relatives to watch, that goes over strategies and considerations when hiring a family member. So that's in the clearance form as well, if it is a relative and if they live in the home. Also in the clearance form is if it's, an approved budget or a transfer budget, or if person's in startup. Okay. We do have an expectation for brokers with regards to broker invoices. Broker invoices, is the billing that you're submitting. So we require that to be completed by the 10th of the following month. And again, we use eVero. If an individual is just been launched, or an individual is in startup and brokerage is the only service, we do expect that you work really diligently to try to have at least broker billing done every month. And that's for a few reasons. For one, if an individual is in startup, you're the only service. So we want to make sure that the individual is getting the service that is identified in the life plan, and that the process is moving forward to get them to be able to launch a full budget. So touching base with the individual and family every month is what we would expect. And obviously, if there's a reason that you cannot do that, then that's understandable. Just communicate that to us. But if you understand that overall that's our expectation, hopefully you can meet that. And when you're doing startup, we do recommend saving a little bit of funds for the few months in which OPWDD is reviewing the budget, and you could use those broker funds during those few months from submission to be able to start getting the individuals set up, maybe providing them training, maybe setting up with the FI team vendors, maybe starting employee clearance processes. So we do encourage that as well. For once an individual is launched, we really do discourage brokers from signing individuals up who are just not going to use the service, because to us that's a waste of resource and time. So we do expect if a person is being launched that you're actively working on getting them up and running. So we want to see that broker time being spent during that initial launch period to get them up and running. Also, when there's no other service, as an FI, we're not able to bill. So there's a few reasons why it's always good to have that broker service when there's no other services happening. We do have an expectation for brokers to dedicate a certain amount of time to brokerage. So we do understand that in some cases, brokers have a day job and this is something they do on the side, and we understand that. But we do hope for a level of commitment to brokering. What we've found in the past is if somebody is only doing a small bit of brokering, they're really not able to, not as invested in staying up to date with all of the nuances of self-direction, as I'm sure you're aware of. And then that just takes more time for us to train and provide support. We would much prefer to have a good group of consulting brokers who have real invested interest in self-direction and brokering and have growth targets of their own. So, we just don't want to have brokers that are set up with us who are not doing brokering or only doing one or two individuals, because again, we just are not sure that there's going to be that level of commitment. I think that pretty much covers a little bit of our, meet and greet here. And if you are just getting signed up with us, you will be a consulting broker. You will go through a clearance process because you will have interactions with the individuals being supported. But you will be set up as a consultant and will receive that 1099. We do direct deposit. We call it ACH. So we can set you up for ACH payments as well. And we try very hard to move payments along. So as you know, brokers are monthly invoice. So if you complete the monthly invoice on time by the 10th or even, by the 5th, as soon as we see the family has signed that invoice, in Evero, we'll be able to push that through, and we have a check run every week. So, you don't have to expect that you'll be waiting forever to get paid. Okay, so I hope this was a good introduction to CFS. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out and communicate with our FI team. Thank you.